It's 3rd of April, 2013 at 10:10, 22:10 to those ex-defence people who work on the 24-hour clock system. Talking about our defences, I see the Koreans are looking to increase their instability with their neighbouring South Korea. Now, what was said today about the North Koreans is the amount of money they spend on defence outweighs the amount of money that's spent on anything else that defence or that government should be spending money on, as in those who are working in the back lines of Korea, like the hospitals or education. The biggest thing that the money goes to is defence. Now, people say that's one of the things that is lacking in Korea is the fortitude of those people who are now living in poverty because all the money has been now going to defence. But if you really look at the defence of any other countries like America and Australia, England, the amount of money that they spend on defence, I mean $1 billion for one aeroplane. Now that $1 billion could go to so many different areas in the government. And you think, well, can you really afford that? And they find out, well, we can't afford that, so they blow the project and put it in the back burners to say, well, we're saving the $1 billion because we're not going to spend the $1 billion until we've got the product. But in actual fact, in their budget, will show there's still $1 billion sitting there ready to be spent on defence. Now let's get back to Korea. What this means is that the money that they spend on defence, which no longer is being spent on education or hospitals, would then mean that the person who's just about to do a heart surgery on a patient could then realise that he's not getting paid because the government's withdrawn the money for the hospital. So he's left with no money and no job, and next thing you know, he's getting signed up for defence in Korea, North Korea. Now, we could have a overqualified doctor cleaning up the latrines on a ship, finding the mines left behind on the last war for which the Koreans are going to be walking over. Or he could be one cleaning out the drip trays that they have in the hangars under all the aeroplanes that the oil drains into, that it doesn't go onto the floor. So we have this overeducated doctor is now doing all the things that a general duties person would do because he's too old to train up for anything else, because he's a doctor and he's 45. We'll say he's 45. So he's got another 20 years before he can actually really retire. But he doesn't have a retirement fund anymore because they've taken out the super or the retirement benefits for the elderly to help stock up the defence. So now we're looking at lack of education, lack of medical services. So we've got all these people, again, mind. Now this is why when you see the propaganda done by the North Koreans, they have all these people marching down the streets with all the tanks and the weapons being blown off. They may have 5 of these things, and they have the 5 being missile launchers going. Not knowing, well, they're the only 5 they've got. They haven't got the 105 they may need to do a war, but they've got the 5, and they're showing the world that they actually can use them. So now, the education and the medical training is now going to be done back into defence. So therefore, they'll turn around and say, well, we're saving our money on public hospitals, on public education, pumping it into defence. So all these people, young people coming through defence will now get trained up in the medical profession. Teachers. They need teachers to teach them how to fly planes. They need teachers to show them how to operate on those who get shot. They need teachers. So, why do we have a public system? Why don't we just put the umbrella out and say the whole thing's being operated by defence? Then we don't have all the CEOs of all these other different areas of medical treatment, education, roads and transport. What do we need roads and transport minister? We have tanks. We drive tanks everywhere. We don't need cars, we've got tanks. We just drive the tanks around. We know there was a guy in America who decided to take a tank out of the depot and drive it down the main street. So it can be done. Can you imagine driving to work in a tank? Well, to my guests for the day, we have the Hollies again. Because we had the Hollies on the last one. But this time, they're singing the... Alright, I know. I need my glasses. Yes, I got my glasses. I found them. The air that I breathe. So this is the Hollies. The air that I breathe. And we'll talk more about it when it's finished. The Hollies are an English group formed in Manchester in the early 1960s. Although the majority of the band members came from towns in East Lancashire, known for their distinctive vocal harmony style, they became one of the leading British groups of the 1960s and early 1970s. They enjoyed considerable popularity in many countries, although they did not achieve major U.S. chart success until 1966. They had 30 charting singles in the UK singles charts and 21 on the Billboard Hot 100. With a major hits on both sides of the Atlantic, they include Just One Look, Look Through My Window, Bus Stop, I Can't Let Go, On a Carousel, Stop, 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 Carrie Ann, Jennifer Eccles, and later, He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother, Long Cool Woman in Black Dress, and The Air That I Breathe, which is what we just had sung. So, the credits for the Hollies. Background information, origin, Lancashire, England, genres, beat, pop, pop rock, psychedelic pop. Years active, 1962 to present. Labels, Parlophone, Epic, US and Canada, RCA, Polydor, EMI, Imperial, Capital, Canada, Associated Acts, Crosby, Stills and Nash, and Young. Used to be Crosby, Stills and Nash, but it's actually Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. Acts. Also, Graham Gouldman. Website, hollies.co.uk. Members, Tony Hicks, Bobby Elliott, Ray Styles, Ian Parker, Steve Laurie, Peter Howard. Past members. Now, I'm still not sure how WikiLeaks has past members of a band been. Are they past members that were part of a band that are dead, or past members that were past members that are no longer part of the band? I suppose they'd have in brackets DEC if they were deceased. We'll see. So past members are Alan Clark, Graham Nash, Eric Haydock, Don Rathbone, Nick Steele, Bernie Calvert, Terry Sylvester, Mikhail Rickfors, Pete Winfield, Peter Emerson, Alan Coates, James Stroud, Dennis Haynes, and Carl Wayne. Now, we get to a joke. Now, some of you guys will probably think, well, it's not so much an Aussie joke as opposed to being just a general joke. But anything that's funny these days, it comes with a bit of a laugh. Take it as being what it is. Laugh. The Lone Ranger and Tonto went camping in the desert. After they got their tent all set up, both men fell asleep. Some hours later, Tonto wakes up, the Lone Ranger, and says, "Hey, Tonto," it says, "Kimosabe, look towards the sky. What you see?" The Lone Ranger replies, "I see millions of stars." "What the hell? What that tell you?" asks Tonto. The Lone Ranger ponders for a minute and says, "Astronomically speaking, it tells me there are millions of galaxies and potentially billions of planets. Astrologically, it tells me that Saturn is in Leo. Time-wise, it appears to be approximately 3:15 in the morning. Theologically, the Lord is all powerful, and we are small and insignificant. Meteorologically, it seems we will have a beautiful day tomorrow. What's it tell you, Tonto? You're dumber than buffalo shit. It means someone stole the tent. Well, it's not quite there to our 20 minutes. Do we get another joke in? Well, we could. Or we get another song in. I can tell a bit more about my life. What I did today. What did I do today? I got up at 10 to 8, drove my car into the mechanic because the mechanic said the brakes need doing. My son said they should have been done 2 weeks ago before we drove to Sydney, a 2 hour drive, because they were crunching when he was driving it. And I said, well, the guy said they had 5,000 Ks on. I still haven't done my 5,000 Ks, so I've driven to Sydney and come back again, get as much out of those brakes as I can before they get done. And I haven't had an accident yet. And besides that, one of the indicators doesn't work, my left hand. So when I was driving around town, I was making sure I was doing right-hand turns all the time. Otherwise, the coppers will pull me up and give me a canary. Do you have canaries in your area, your town? Our canaries in Australia is that they slap a yellow sticker on your car and say it needs to be any faults needs to be corrected within 7 days of this sticker. Otherwise, the sticker stays there, and in 7 days you'll get booked again. So then I went across to Stocklands, to Jamaica Blues, and had a nice coffee and pancakes. Then I got the bus home. It's very rare I catch the bus in Narra. You just don't know which turn it's going to take before you actually get to the place you want to be. What would take me 5 minutes by car took me a half an hour to get to where I wanted to be. Now you know why people drive and don't catch the bus. Although for me, the bus is free, so I got my card. I'm a vet in affairs card. Then I got called up, 11:30. Car's already been picked up. I says, well, can you leave it there for a while? I'll come and get it when my wife gets home. I says, well, if you don't get it soon, it will get booked. I says, why will it get booked? Because it's in a parking space where you can only park it for an hour. You put my car there. Do you accept the responsibility of that fine? Not me. Just because it's sitting there and it's got my registration to it, I'm not paying the bill. But anyway, walked across the road. You doing anything for the next 20 minutes, maybe? Well, wait 40 minutes. I'll give you a lift into town. So I get lift into town, get in the car. No petrol in it. The lights flashing. So obviously the guy's taking it for a decent drive because the lights flashing saying I need some petrol. Fill up the petrol. I had a card that gives you a discount. I'm supposed to get 20 cents a litre off on my petrol. He says, oh no, you got 8 cents. He said, and he gets his phone out and scans my card and says, oh, it expired. Woolies. This is Woolies. My 20 cents a litre expired. So I got 8 cents a litre off. So I drive home. Mow the lawns. I haven't done it for a long time. Oh, sweat was coming out everywhere. I haven't mowed the lawns for a long time. It's about as long as what my beard is getting. We'll see how long I can last before I need to cut it off again. I went 9 months without cutting it last time. And that made me look like a woolly sheep. Are you? And then my wife come home. Not going to tell her all the things I did for the day. She just thinks to go sit here and sit in my house and do nothing. Well, that's her thoughts. But anyway, there's about 20 minutes. I need someone to come on. David Letterman. Maybe David Letterman will take me on. It's been an Aussie late show host. I need a job, Dave. Billy, I need a job. Letterman. I'll do it for the bottom dollar. I won't be paying taxes on my $300,000 a year salary that you'll pay me. Yeah, just pay me $40,000 and I'll be happy. Alright, love is all. Who we got tomorrow? Billy Thorpe and Over the Rainbow. There's one for you from the past. Over the Rainbow. Hope it's not raining tomorrow. Oh, well, I do want it to rain, so the grass will grow again. Alright, love is all. Bye.